Hey, what's up guys, Thetcglover here, kind of video today. Now, I just took a deck that I saw from YCS Toronto and I took a look at it and I thought it was really good. I know that I'm making YCS Toronto videos like a week and a half after YCS Toronto happened, but to be honest, I'm just in this kind of mode where I need to look at decks that could be good this format, and I need to kind of, in my mind, mentally list all these decks that could actually have a good chance to, like builds that are really well done and have been tested out thoroughly, and it's just testing decks to see if they're any good. And I feel like this one, Geargia Karakuri, or whatever it's called, yeah, Geargia Karakuri, is a really good deck for this format. If you think about it, right, so Karakuris, what do they normally possess? They possess this ability to OTK at a moment's notice, okay? They can use a Karakuri engine, and then you combine it with another engine like Psychics or Geargias, any deck like that where you can usually machine types, and then you just go off and you make a ridiculous amount of synchros like Beret and Beredo, and then even if you make like 3 Beredo, then you make a Nisi Apache at the end phase, you can just switch it and then you get 3 draws, and then it's like you go back up to 6 cards or whatever how many you use. Geargia Karakuri has a very special benefit of having a couple of plays that the deck can do that other Karakuri variants can't do. One of the main things that gets the deck going in a way that other decks can't do is Gear. Now, it's a trap card from Lord Attack on Galaxy, which you probably have heard of because it's quite popular now. It's become top 32 at YCS Toronto. You basically flip it up and it special summons 2 Geargiano monsters from your deck and it increases their levels by 1. So at the very least, you can overlay these two to summon Geargigan X and just get a search. So it basically replaces the Gear that you use to summon these 2 Geargianos. However, that's like the least you could do. The deck actually has a massive potential to pull out massive amounts of synchros at any moment's notice. So basically, we know that Gears is a deck that builds on advantage. So you basically spam the hell out of Geargigan X using Geargia Armor, using Geargia Accelerators, using Geargia Arsenals, using all that stuff to just keep spamming the hell out of Gigan X's so you don't lose card advantage. So in a format like this where there's no heavy storm, you can literally play like 12 to 15 traps and it's completely legit in this deck. However, if you combine it with the Karakuri engine, you can actually build advantage with Geargias. And then you can also, at the time you feel it's right, you can instantly just turn on the aggression and just make a massive field when they least expect it. So you can build an advantage plays, simplify the game state to a point where they only have 2 cards to your 2 cards, or your 2 cards to your 4 cards, for example, when you're up an advantage, because that's what Geargias do. And then you just proceed to go, oh, okay, I've realized that you can't handle an OTK right now. So you just go straight up and you just go crazy, okay? You go Gear, flip summon these 2 Geargianos from your deck, so it's instantly 2 cards out of your deck, and then you summon Saizan or you summon Nisi Apache, make Beret or Beredo, and then you just spam it again because you already have an extra Geargiano on your field, so you do it again and then you have 2 big monsters. And the thing is, you don't have to make Beredo, you don't have to make Beret, you could instantly, if you want, just make a Stardust Dragon or a Scrap Dragon, and then you have a Beredo and a Scrap Dragon or a Stardust Dragon on your field, and that alone out of 2 cards is absolutely ridiculous, okay? That is a very powerful play, and you can instantly win the game just out of 2 cards like that. I mean, that's the thing. If you're building so much advantage with a deck like this, then being able to just go off in 2 cards is something that makes the deck tier 1 worthy. If you have to build up an advantage to a point where you need to do a 4-card OTK, then it's as if you're doing an all or nothing gamble, and you're building all that advantage for all those turns, and then you suddenly realize that you do this OTK and it doesn't go off and it's a fail, and you realize that you've lost everything just because that's how the deck works. But actually, in this case, you actually are just simply summoning all these monsters for 2 cards, and you've already gained like tons of cards of advantage. So that's why it's so good. And the great thing is, right, is that even though you can literally go summon your Geargianos, you can also incorporate the other Geargias. So if you want, you could use your Geargia Accelerators, which you were searching with Geargiamas, and then you special summon the Geargianos, and then you summon Nisi Apache, and then you do the whole thing again. And then when you leave, when you have a Beret and a Beredo on the field, or 2 Beredos or 2 Berets, then you special summon the last Karakuri and you have your Geargia Accelerator right there, just so you can make another one. So right there you can instantly go OTK in 3 cards, and that 3rd card is searched by the other cards in your deck. So you're simply creating a hand, you're constructing a hand with this deck to a point where you go, okay, I've got all the pieces I need, and then you just go off. Simple as. You obviously run free MST, you run Pot of Duality just to get things going, you run Forbidden Lance just in case they start doing stuff, and obviously you run Trap Stun, you can run Royal Decree in the side, I guess. You know, it's basically what this guy did in YCS Toronto. And that's pretty much it. I love this deck because it's really well done. It doesn't look inconsistent whatsoever. You can obviously open up 5 traps and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. But that being said, you can still do stuff provided you open up with Geargia as well. You can just instantly go straight off. Every card in the deck works with each other. You always consistently get off the combo. If your opponent can get around it and beat you, then that's fine. You know, that happens. But the way that this deck works, you know, you just know the minute that you have your field set up, and it only takes a couple of cards. You look at your field, look at your hand and go, yeah, I've got it. I've got game. Instantly game. I can see your field, I can see what I've got in my hand, and I can instantly perceive what's going to happen next turn. It's like when you play Vanguard and they go, final turn! And they're like, oh my god, final turn, what's he going to do? And then you just go crazy. You know, I think these kind of decks are my favourite kind of decks. The decks where they go crazy at a moment's notice, and they can also build advantage simply by just doing what they do. I'm going to link the deck list that this guy top 32'd with down below, and tell me how you feel about Geargia Karakuris, or how you feel about Karakuris as a viable deck of this format. I think they're really good. It's going to take a few more tops to actually really see them come into their own though. Obviously, Beret now being a tin promo, I have 3 of them now because of the tin promos. You can easily build the deck very cheaply, and that is completely fine because Beredo has been reprinted like 3 times or something like that. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to be going to uni tomorrow. I won't be able to make a video for a few days, so that sucks, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll get through it together. So I hope to see you guys in a few days, and until next time, the Thetcglover is out.